Cheers. Oh, okay.
Even like Instagram is like, it's like third on the list of like apps being used.
What's first? TikTok?
Probably Snapchat.
I forgot about Snapchat.
Snapchat is like, it's insane.
Wow.
On Snapchat, you can see where your friends are.
Snap maps.
Snap maps.
It's like a big deal to
And I
have
remember-
friends in other countries, right?
I remember youth showing me their Snap map. It was full.
Wow.
I just couldn't even see the land.
Wow.
There were people everywhere.
I can't relate.
Yeah, I think I had like maybe 20 people on Snapchat.
Here we are, another week.
Welcome to episode 4.
Wow, episode 4. This is the 4th week.
I know. People like me, I usually give up on things after like 2 weeks, but here we are.
Here we are, going strong. That's awesome. Also, not awesome, because the fact that we're doing this means that we can't all meet together. But, going with the flow over here.
It's definitely not as fun. We miss y'all.
Y'all?
Y'all. I say y'all a lot.
That's a regular word for you?
Not in that like southern drawl, but I usually say y'all.
That's nice.
Y'all better listen up.
Is that because you're from Langley?
Yeah.
Are you trying to be tall? Like,
No, I'm just kind of stretching.
You stretching makes me realize that I have the worst. Look at my posture right now.
Yeah. I feel like that.
I'm literally just hunched over.
And me?
Perfect. He's perfect.
What do you want me to say? I can't talk. We haven't
You gotta do
many
like
takes.
exercises. The wowie wowie wowie
Wowie,
wowie wowie. The wowie mommy.
Wowie,
mommy.
wowie.
Wowie mommy.
It's like super nasally.
Yeah.
Wowie,
mommy.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
So we're gonna take this week off from doing our practices. We've kind of wrapped up that little series looking at the different practices of Jesus, and we're going to transition into something new next week. But this week, we're gonna be answering questions that you guys have submitted, and just gonna take time to kind of introduce ourselves, I guess.
Which we probably should have done at the very beginning before
Yeah.
we did all the practice videos.
Seems like an episode 1 thing.
Yeah, it does. But we're changing things up.
Yeah.
We're unconventional, so.
We are.
So we're gonna give you guys a little intro to ourselves and then answer some of your questions.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, Nate, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I live in Lynn Valley. I'm married to Kaylee, and we moved to the North Shore this past summer, I guess last year, which is when we also got married. I'm 24, turning 25 in August. Classic, like I'm telling you when my birthday is. So if it's August, you can wish me a happy birthday.
What day?
August 29th. And that's me.
Cool. What's a radtacular moment from your life?
Wow.
A joyful or high moment that you can remember?
Ooh. One radtacular moment in my life was, I should have thought of this before you asked.
It's okay, you can take your time.
Wow.
Just one. No
Just
pressure.
one, no pressure.
Doesn't have to be anything crazy.
Yeah. One radtacular moment was I took a semester off from school and I went traveling for a month by myself in Germany, just like visiting friends and just seeing the sights, and it was awesome. I drank a lot of coffee, went to a lot of soccer games, and just basically was on my own schedule, which meant a lot of sleeping in.
Cool. What is a bummer moment or a challenge that you've had to
Overcome.
Yeah.
When I think I was 20, I had applied and I got accepted to radio broadcasting and journalism school at BCIT. And so I had moved to Vancouver, had like a cool basement suite, found some roommates, and I immediately realized that it was not what I wanted to do. And I kind of set my hopes on like being a journalist and like spending my life talking about sports and getting paid for it, talking about them and writing about them. And then like 3 days in, I realized I did not want to do this at all. So I think the bummer moment was like the realization, but I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. But then something really good came out of that, and I ended up going to school at CBC, Columbia Bible College, and that's why I'm here now.
Cool. What has been an experience that's impacted you?
I took a gap year when I first graduated high school, and I went to Bible school in Germany, which is why I traveled there for that month. And I went to this school called Bodenseehof, which is basically like this 7-month, it's kind of a gap year, but like you learn about God and you just like spend time with people, traveling and learning. And that was a huge experience for me. I definitely just had like some of the most like groundbreaking moments for myself in learning about who I am and who God is, and that He loves me and that He just wants to be in relationship with me.
Cool. And why do you love being a youth pastor?
I love being a youth pastor because I love youth nights. I love spending time with youth and seeing you guys grow in like the people that you are, like seeing you guys learn more about how much God loves you, but also just learning about like how to do life and how to like grow and figure out high school, because it's a really confusing time for everyone. And so having the opportunity to kind of journey alongside you guys is so fun.
Cool. I'm 23 years old, and I turned 24 in May 8th, so that's coming up, and I'm really excited. I always say that I feel like I'm catching up to my actual age, which I would range between 26 to 28. So every time I have a birthday, I'm like, wow, just 1 year closer to the age I think I should be.
Wow. What has been a ratacular /high / joyful moment in your life?
That's a lot of slashes. A really joyful thing for me has been Club 6-7 ministry, and actually I got to start that ministry up 4 years ago, and I got to lead it with people who are now OASIS leaders and are my friends. And it was one of those moments where I learned that I'm really passionate about people, and that I'm really passionate about helping people love Jesus and see how Jesus can impact their life. And so I remember that year being one of the most incredibly joyful things, because I got to see Jesus work in people's lives, and I got to be part of that. So that's one of my like favorite memories, or joyful memories.
What has been a bummer /low / challenging time in your life?
One bummer time, I guess, a challenge was after grade 12, I decided to change my whole life around, and I quit track and field, and I decided to drop out of university. Don't follow my example. And I was going to go and do missions, but before I did that, I had about 6 months of suddenly having no identity in anything anymore, because I had given it all up. So I couldn't find my identity in sports anymore, which I had clung to for so long. I saw my worth off of how well I did as an athlete, and I no longer could see it in my academics because I wasn't going to school. And I was left for 6 months with this overwhelming feeling of not knowing who I was, and I had so much anxiety about that. And it was a really difficult time for me to figure out who I was, what was important to me, and who I wanted to be.
What has been an experience that has really shaped you?
In my second year at Columbia Bible College, one of the pastors at the time from Hillside was out there visiting some of the students and talking with some of the staff. His name's Anthony, and I was really struggling in that year of school trying to figure out what God wanted from me. And again, I had a lot of anxiety about that. And I remember him sitting down and him telling me to choose to be where God had called me despite my feelings. And that completely has impacted my life and changed the direction that I was heading towards. The idea that to be faithful even when it was incredibly difficult, and when I was angry with God and frustrated with God and had no idea what he was doing, to have someone call that out in me and encourage me to press forward in my faith completely impacted me in where I am today and my understanding of God and my relationship with him.
And why do you love being a youth pastor?
I love being a youth pastor because I think youth have so much to offer. And I started this job thinking that I was gonna be teaching and leading you, but all of you have taught me so much and have led me. And as cheesy as that sounds, it's so true. Seeing your excitement over getting to know God and over each other, like when you guys hang out and you're just so pumped to be with one another and be in community, it brings me so much joy. And over this time, I've completely missed all of you and getting to see you on Wednesdays and catching up and just laughing and kind of just goofing around. But it's been really cool to build friendships with you over the last 2 years and to really get to know who you are. And I get really excited about what God could do with your life. So sometimes I'll be driving home from youth and I'm like, wow, that person has so much going for them and God loves them so much. And I get so excited to get to witness and watch what he's gonna do and how he's gonna continue to form you. One more for the homies.
Boom.
You, or some of you.
Oh gosh.
So we posted on our Instagrams asking for all of your burning questions, and some of you submitted some questions.
Overwhelmed by the amount of questions.
You got one question.
I got one.
What was
How
your
many
question?
did you get?
I got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I got one.
Okay, let's start with yours.
How are you guys so good at what you do? It just comes naturally.
I mean, look at us.
But what about your questions?
Well, whoever submitted that, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying.
Shout out.
Okay, first question. Oh, this is a hard one for me. What will be your first question when you go to heaven? So I'm assuming, what would you want to ask Jesus when you see him? Because he could also come here.
True.
I go to Bible college.
Yeah, you do. I think I'm just gonna be so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like nothing we ever expected. And so I feel like any question I could have is just gonna be I'm just gonna be in awe. So I feel like whatever I think of, it probably won't be as important as when I get to the moment,
right.
You know?
I had a similar thought. I was like, maybe we in his presence will be given that knowledge or that understanding of who Jesus is and who God is, and maybe that will just kind of be given to us. But I think I would love him to show me all the moments where he was present with me and felt like he wasn't. Kind of like in Harry Potter, they have that Synthieve, I think it's called.
Yeah.
When you put the teardrops in and you can see all the memories. Kind of like one of those, play it back and get to see where Jesus was in my life and what he was doing and his love for me when I couldn't see it. It's kind of where I go. So I feel like that would be incredible because I think he's always trying to he's always present with us, but I'm so oblivious all the time that it'd be cool to see. Even now, what is he trying to say to us or doing or whatever.
Oh, we're not listening.
We're not listening. We're talking.
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. If you could have dinner with 5 people, dead or alive, who would they be? It's a lot of people. That's a lot of options. They're really gracious to us.
Yeah, 5. Wow.
I'm gonna say my grandmother and great-grandmother on my mom's side. I've never met either one of them. I would say Jesus, because why not? But I'd also want to hang out and have a conversation over dinner with Mary, Jesus' mom.
Wow.
Because there's this one line in the Bible, you would normally read it around Christmas time, and Mary says that she stored all these things and pondered them in her heart. And I want like an inside scoop on what those things were. Like, she's the mother of Jesus, she's watching all of this stuff happen, like, but she's such a servant and so like humbled. Anyway, that would be incredible. And then, probably someone from like a world war. Like, I'm, fun fact, kind of like a war buff. Like, I have no fun facts about it, but I'm so intrigued.
Yeah. I would want to, this is classic, but I'd want to sit down with like Tolkien.
Okay.
I think it would just be so interesting because like wrote like Lord of the Rings so good, but also I'm not like a crazy nerd with like those books, but he was also like really good friends with C.S. Lewis.
Right.
And so I think it'd be interesting to like know like what those conversations were like.
Cool.
I'm gonna throw Jesus in there because I mean,
come on,
so good.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I feel like he would also add a lot of spice to the conversation and to the mood of the place.
Totally.
It wouldn't be very pompous because I feel like you'd have a lot of people that are like very like.
To see him minister to the people that are all sitting around that table would be insane.
He's just on another level. Literally. And then I would probably put in, maybe like someone like Rosa Parks.
Oh wow.
I love to like she went through a lot.
Yeah. You can say that.
that's a small way to put it.
Yes.
But I think that would be really interesting. And then let's go with Steve Carell. Because I think I just love a good time.
I love that.
And then I'd probably, the 5th one, I think I'd bring Katie along to this dinner.
Okay, yeah.
Because I think it would just be like such a good time. Luke. Yeah.
That's funny. I definitely went on the side of people who are not alive anymore.
Yeah.
You really threw in some good people who are still kicking.
Still kicking it.
Yeah. Someone I would maybe add is Dr. Seuss.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just want him to talk in rhymes.
Yes.
Or so if you wanted to get really interesting, I would sit down Taylor Swift, Kanye,
Ariana Grande,
maybe some Posty, you know?
Jeez.
Like, and just like have some dinner.
And Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Or like Barack Obama. Okay, I could go on
Whoa.
forever. Trump.
I was gonna say Donald.
Donald. Oh, great. All right, next question. I don't know if we can answer this, but how much of the Bible is metaphoric?
Who asked that?
Marley.
How
she
much
really wants to know.
of the Bible is metaphoric? Yeah, we can't put a percentage on that.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, I really want to answer that though.
I do too. I just don't feel like I have enough knowledge to give a complete answer.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Jesus uses metaphors for our understanding, like in his teaching. Like we see it throughout the Bible used in terms that we understand it to be used in like today's English. Yeah. But if you're asking, is like the creation story real or not, I don't think I could give you a satisfactory answer because I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. I'm still learning.
Good answer.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Avril Lavigne song? Are you an Avril fan?
It's been a few years since I've turned on an Avril Lavigne song.
Have you heard about the conspiracy about her? There's this conspiracy that Avril Lavigne died, and then her lookalike took her job because she was releasing music and stuff, and the company didn't want to slow down the momentum. And they say this because Avril was very like punk rock and pretty like moody, and then suddenly she was this like poppy girl. It was like a switching character. I mean, I love Avril, so I don't know, but that's been one of the most convincing conspiracy theories I've heard.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but I would say Skater Boy because it's classic.
Skater Boy is a good one.
Like it just like plays in my head sometimes. Like she was a skater boy, he was a skater boy.
Yeah, that can find its way into my head once in a while.
Yeah, and my sister was a huge Avril fan and like wanted to be Avril. And I remember when we first got our CD player, like that was a big thing. And me and my sister each got to pick a CD. My sister picked an Avril Lavigne CD, and I picked a Hillary Duff CD.
That's a good combo.
Yeah,
you guys were set.
Yeah, we were fine. That was our education, our music education as children.
So good.
Okay, next question. I love this question. I can't think of anything right now. The only thing I could think of was, what's your opinion on Crocs? Only Nate would take that seriously.
Yeah.
He literally were like, yeah, well, here's my opinion on Crocs.
Yeah. Oh.
Crocs are fire.
Yeah.
At first I was really against them. I was like, how can a company sell these shoes? And then I realized the potential in them, and I think they're so fun. Like they're perfect for camp. I think they're perfect for like just chilling around the house.
Yeah. I think Crocs and Keats need to work out a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Like Keats should just pay their staff in Crocs.
That's amazing.
Stan, if you're watching this.
Crocs, it's the way to go.
I love Crocs.
Do you own any pairs?
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't either. That's the thing.
I keep it. It feels like it's like I'm too old for them.
I have an admiration for Crocs, but I will not own a pair unless they're gifted to me.
How many youth show up on a youth night with Crocs?
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
It's not like a common, maybe even not even 2. Like it's not.
Summertime though.
Summertime, yeah.
Yeah.
But at camp, they're everywhere.
We can't get enough.
Can't avoid them. Can't avoid them.
Can't
Okay.
avoid them.
Next question. How did you meet your wife and husband?
I met Katie at a bowling alley.
Wow.
Yeah.
In Langley?
No.
No. In Abbotsford?
Abbotsford.
Oh, yeah.
I know, she's from Portland, so
Cool.
it should have been like something way cooler than a bowling alley in Abbotsford, but
That works.
it works.
The one by Old Hand.
Yeah, Brothers.
It's really good.
It shut down.
Did it actually?
Oh yeah. I think it was a front.
Okay, moving on. So, like, what happened?
Like with Brothers or with
No,
I-
with Katie. Was she there with friends?
Yeah, it was a group of us. There's probably like 15 of us.
What was
all.
the connection?
You're gonna do that math thing over your head. My friend Tim, his fiance at the time went to Anvil. So, and his fiance at the time was Sharon. Sharon and Katie met. Sharon was like, Nate, you need to meet Katie. And so we all decided to go bowling together. And that's
So it's kind of a setup.
It was a bit of a setup, but there was just like so much going on that evening. It was just like, you guys should meet. Oh, we met.
Were you instantly like, this is the love of my life?
Yeah. I was definitely like, oh, she's really cool.
Wow.
And by me saying, oh, she's really cool, like, that was it.
And then you dated for how long?
The year.
And then you got married. Or got engaged.
We got engaged, yeah.
And you got married last year.
Yeah, July 5th last year.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's awesome. It's exciting.
How about you guys?
I was living in a community house. We called it the Keys House, and it was like young adults who all rented rooms from a couple from our church. And in the basement, this guy named Alex Wider lived there, and he was best friends with Luke. And one day I was sitting in the living room, and Alex came home with on FaceTime with Luke, and then carrying like a ton of things. And so he's like, "Here, hold my phone." And I was like, odds are I'm either gonna really know this person and it'll be fine to have a conversation with them, or I'm not gonna know them at all and then it'll just be fine because we don't know each other. I did not count on the idea of someone I had met before but didn't know very well, and it was Luke. So
Wow.
I ended up on this FaceTime with Luke, and he's like such a kind person. Like, he's so personable. Like, he could have a conversation with anyone and you just feel like known and at home. And he was like, Kristin. And I was like, I didn't even know he knew my name or anything. And he hung out with Alex, who's older than me. And so I never really was a part of that group until I got into that house. And so I never hung out with him or anything. And he was like, just had this good conversation with me, and then I got a follow on Instagram. And then he came, because he would work away for his job, and he came back, and then he was suddenly hanging at our house quite a bit. And I was like,
you're like,
I see you. But the first time we actually met was at camp, and it was when I was in the lead program, and he was working in the kitchen, and I was like drying dishes, and I like walked into the cook's office to put something away, and I didn't know they were sitting there, but I was like screaming a Disney song at the top of my lungs, and it was so embarrassing. And I walk into these two older, cooler guys just like doing like inventory or something, and they're both like, and I was like, and then I was like, gotta go.
You're like, gotta bounce.
Yeah, see you later. So, and then the rest was history. But I liked him, but for a whole month, I told him I could never date him because I had so much anxiety about dating him, because I like did not expect to like meet someone and like be in a relationship again. And so I remember calling him one day, and I was like, I could never marry you, so I can't date you. But look who's laughing now.
Joke's on you.
But that came out of a place of just like pure anxiety, so. But he's like the greatest gift. So, and he was so like kind through that whole thing too. He was just like, okay, well, I'm still gonna be here. Like, he just knew. Like, he was like, I knew you were gonna date. I was like.
So you definitely were trying to almost talk yourself out of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad I didn't.
Yeah.
And then we got married 2 years ago. So our 2-year anniversary is this June.
Come on.
We only dated for a year.
Seems to be a trend.
Yeah, when you know, you know.
When you
but
know,
there's no
you know.
rush. There's
No rush.
Okay. I feel like that was the longest.
Yeah,
response to
that
ever.
was.
I'm so sorry.
This was supposed to be a shorter video.
Okay. Well, those are all my questions. But I had a question for you.
Okay.
When did you realize you wanted to be a pastor or be in ministry? Like, what was that moment?
Whoa. It's like a big moment.
Okay.
I spent the first 2 years of going to CBC not wanting to be in ministry at all.
Interesting.
I was just studying, and I was gonna like go do something else. And then there was this like combination of events where my parents were going to Spain for 6 weeks, and I was gonna take care of the family farm.
You have a farm?
Yeah, my dad has like my parents, like we have like a full-on chicken farm.
What?
36,000 chickens.
No, this is a lie.
No, this is real. We're building a new barn right now. Exciting things.
What the heck? You're a chicken boy.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm.
You raise chickens.
Yeah, I'm a chicken boy.
Like, you're that kind of lamely.
Yeah, that's not really Langley, that's like Abbotsford.
Okay.
But yeah, there's not that many farms in Langley.
I can't even like think about anything else other than the fact that like you grew up on a chicken farm.
So anyways, I took this 6 weeks to like figure out if I wanted to like do this for the rest of my life. But then I was also just finished 2 years of CBC, and I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on. And so I was kind of coming to the point where I was like, I need to either like kind of make a decision. What's so funny?
Thinking about the chickens.
Oh, wow.
I'm shocked. Sorry, keep going.
And so there's this moment in like this 2 week span where like I realized I was like, this is like, I don't want to like farm for the rest of my life. At least like I don't want this to be my life. This is so funny to you, hey?
I had no idea. You're such a city guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, keep going.
And so I decided, and so then I was like, okay, God, like if you actually want me to like do ministry, I don't just want to like be called into it, I actually have to change my heart. And so at the same time, my parents were in Spain and they were like doing this walk across Spain called the Camino. And these people just kept like coming to them and like having these crazy prophecies about like someone in the family like going into ministry and like church planting and doing all this stuff. And it was just like, it just kept coming back to like
That's
it
crazy.
being me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we were going on a missions trip to Mexico, and I was like told that I was given like 5 days heads up that I was going to be preaching to like hundreds of people, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I also, but like I just like, it just gave me so much life, like all of it, like leading and like and like preaching and all of these things, like it actually changed. And so that's kind of when I knew. And then since then, it's been like 3 years, and now here I am.
That's very cool. I had no idea about the chickens, about
That's the best part.
about any of that. That's awesome. So is your family Christian?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you have a sister?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Cool. Older?
Yeah, both older.
Okay, you're the young one.
I am the youngest.
Yeah, I am
And
too.
You can tell.
Yes.
You can tell.
We have
you
a
can.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both like vying for attention. And, like here we
But
are.
also like cool because like our parents
Yeah.
cared a little bit less with us because we were the
Yeah.
younger one.
We experienced more because there was more freedom.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like whatever.
And like we kind of knew it was coming because we watched our older siblings go through it. So
Like,
we
oh.
were a little more prepared.
Watch them.
Wow. Yeah.
What about you? When did things change, or when did things like start moving towards this direction?
Funny because I wanted to work in agriculture. My career path was either to be an elementary school teacher, or work in sustainable farming. I was really passionate about it. Like I could whip
Oh
out
my
a
gosh.
whole lecture with no notice on sustainable food and like farming and production and
Come on.
yeah, so that's what my goal was, and then I decided to stop track and not go to school.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to Youth with a Mission, which is a 6-month discipleship program. And I love just learning. Like the first 3 months are lectures, and then the 3 months after that we went to Kyrgyzstan and we just taught English and hung out, and yeah. So that was my first introduction to the idea that I could live my whole life for Jesus. And that's where things started to change. So when I came home, I had this like big passion and like love for Christ, and I wanted to do something with it. And I remember just being excited to like come home and like serve at the church. And so they actually ended up giving me an internship where they gave me the opportunity to start that middle school youth program, Club 6-7. And I talked about this earlier, but getting to work with those leaders in specific. Like I love the kids, but working with like the teenagers at that time, like the idea that I got to be a part of building eternity into their life and like in God's like purpose in their life, like I loved it. So I was like, maybe I should go to school for this or get more training. So then I ended up at CBC, and then I didn't do like any ministry for my first 2 years there. And then I got invited to come and serve in this position as lead pastor, and it was like the best thing ever.
So
Yeah, I don't think I never thought growing up that I would be a pastor. Didn't even think I'd be a Christian. Like that was never on my radar. So it's like, it's so interesting to see how God calls people and like affirms them in it and grows them and uses other people around them to affirm them in it.
I think what's so cool about like both of our stories is that there's people behind the scenes always like praying, but also like listening and seeing where God is guiding. Like we didn't just get called into these things because it was like God spoke to us directly and then we're just here.
Yeah.
It's this network of people who are like loving us and are like, this is what you like we see in you.
Encouraging, totally.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times people are like, I want to hear God's voice. And they think it's going to be this one moment, but God is constantly present and constantly speaking, and He prepares your heart for the things He calls you to. So like in those 2 years at Columbia, I saw Him, when I got offered the job to be here at Hillside, I looked back and understood why those 2 years were so hard for me and what God was doing in me. So it's quite a bit of like willingness to be uncomfortable in a relationship with God for him to prepare us and to like hear him. And that means like seeking him, you know, in our weeks
So
to
good.
hear that voice. But it's like a very slow process. That like,
Yeah.
I didn't become a Christian until I was 15. So it's like, but first time ever thinking about God was in grade 1.
Wow.
So it's like, it took me all those years to be a Christian and then all those years to be doing this job, and who knows where we'll be in the future.
Yeah.
So,
So cool.
okay. Fun hanging out with you. We hope that you learned a little bit more about us. And we're excited to come back with some more devotionals next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Have a great week.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
Bye. See you.
I'm still on.
Bye.
See you guys.